Hello friends and family of YouTube, it's Travis again, and today I'm actually on a secret trail in the Smokies. But before we get started, let me give you some directions on how to get here, and you're going to want to pay attention because this one's not marked. So those directions are coming up right now. If you're driving from the Maryville-Alcoa area, you'll pass through the city of Townsend. And then when you come here to the Townsend Y, you're going to make a left, like going towards Gatlinburg. So you're going to drive all the way to the end of the road, down here to Sugarlands Visitor Center, and then you are going to turn right at this point. And just for reference, from the Townsend Y to this point, it is about a 30-minute drive, so just take that into consideration. All right, so there's really not a good landmark, so I can give you some better directions, but you'll pass a couple of these quiet walkways. It's only about 2 or 3 minutes from where we turned just a minute ago, but when you pass those two quiet walkways, you're starting to get close. You will pass this big parking area here on the left, so that's another landmark to use. And I think there's even a larger parking area right here with an overlook, so you'll see that one. You'll pass this sign that says slow vehicles. Alright, so your GPS will say that you need to park there on the left if you're using that for directions. But actually we want to pull up here just a little bit farther, and you're going to see there's another pull off here to the left, but you want to pull over here on this small one to the right. And this is where we'll need to park to start the trail. Alright, so as you can see, there is room for maybe 2 or 3 vehicles here, but there is an additional pullover down here for some extra parking. But let's get started. Alright, so you can see where we parked down there, and then the trail just goes this way. Alright, welcome back. And as I stated, I'm on a secret trail in the Smokies. It's actually a trail that goes up to Courthouse Rock and Quilliam Cave. It is not listed on any of the official maps of the Smoky Mountains, and it is not maintained by the Park Service, so makes it a little bit more difficult to find. But if you use All Trails app, one of the others, you can look up Courthouse Rock. I think it's listed on All Trails as Quilliam Cave via the Courthouse Rock Trail. It says it's 2.8 miles round trip, but I remember it being longer than that the last time I hiked it. Man, what's my GoPro doing? I'm all over the place here. So I'm still using the gimbal. It makes the video a little bit more stable, but I fight it all the time. You can tell it's all over the place. But anyway, let me turn around here so you can kind of see what this trail does look like. Got a water crossing here, not too bad. Water levels are adequate, but we've not had any major rain recently, so it's not too bad. All right, so as I was saying, this is Courthouse Rock up to Quilliam Cave. I did look up some information, so hopefully I'll be able to share a little bit more with you on this particular hike. But I actually found this one by accident last year. If you notice, I was driving a different vehicle this morning. That's my in-laws, Jeep Liberty. I borrowed it just for the fact that my poor little Mazda, kind of a long drive for it. But a year ago, I was on my way, I can't remember if it was to Chimney Rock or Alum Cave. But anyway, my Mazda broke down, and where we parked, where I showed you on the directions, that's where I had to pull over on the side of the road and wait 4 hours for a tow truck. But while I was there, I had another couple that stopped, and they were getting their hiking gear out, and I was like, is there a trail here? And they're like, yeah. So they told me about it, and I came back like a week or two later and hiked it. Used the old GoPro 5, so that video's looks a little rough. But anyway, I waited till wintertime to come back up here again, because you'll see here when we get towards the cave itself, it's really rocky. Good place for a lot of snakes and stuff to hide out. So anyway, let's head on up this way, and I'll show you a little bit more of the trail. All right, so this is something to be prepared for. You're going to run into a lot of this on this particular trail. So you're going to have to maneuver around a lot of obstacles. So just keep that in mind, because there's a ton of this on this particular trail, unfortunately. All right, so the All Trails app is going to bring you right here. So there's a pull off across the road, and then there's a little trail path that comes up through here. But the main trail that I took is actually up there where I parked, and you get like an additional, I don't know, 3 or 4 minutes worth of hiking, and that seems to be the one that most people take. But there is this little side trail, and it'll bring you right up here to the same place. So just to give you an idea of what this trail looks like, and this is, you can see the leaves are off the trees. It makes it a little bit more difficult, but not much of a path. I mean, you really have to be paying attention on this one, and I would recommend getting the All Trails app or one of the other hiking apps to use. I do use All Trails, and it's been pretty decent. I've actually enjoyed it, but just pay attention on this trail, because there's not much of one, and you can lose it real quick here if you're not careful. So one cool thing about this particular trail is not a ton of people know about it, right? And so you can come up here just basically almost any time during the day, during the week, and you might see 1 or 2 other hikers on this trail. So that's the one cool thing. A lot of the more popular trails, there's a lot of people there. Sorry, I'm already catching my breath. I'm looking around. There's supposed to be like a man-made cave where I'm gonna see if this is it. I don't think so, but there's gonna be some places like this, if you can see. But in my notes, there's supposed to be like a little rock cave that looks like it was man-made. And it said that the Quilliam family, that's where they would supposedly hide their moonshine. Now, that's just what I read on the internet. We know how that goes. But I don't know that much about the Quilliam family. I couldn't find much information on it. But that was one of the pieces of information that was referenced in the story. So we'll be on the lookout. That might not be it. There might be another one up here. I can't remember. It's been a while since I did this trail. But anyway, the cool thing about it is you're not going to have to worry about a bunch of people on this particular trail like some of the others. So you don't have to get up here at sunrise like I normally do. So I took a little extra time this morning so that the sun would actually be up, and hopefully the video would be a little lighter and not as dark as normal. So anyway, let's continue on. All right, so here is a man-made stone wall. The main part of the trail goes up through there, but I would assume that in this area is probably where the homestead would have been for the Quilliam family. Not gonna go too far, but I do want to walk around for just a minute, see if there's anything else up here. So more of the stone wall through here. So not really anything left in the area, but I can just imagine that Probably was right in here somewhere. But anyway, I do not know for a fact, but we will continue on and see if we can find anything else. Now, if you'll notice, there are rocks up through here, and they do look like they were placed to help make a trail and a pathway. So I do believe that there was definitely somebody living in here back in the day. And of course, there is a stream down through there, so they would have had fresh water at any time. Oh, hang on, here's another rock structure. Let's go over here and look at this. Man, getting all tripped up. All right, so here's a pile of stones that would have been either just moved out of the way, or that could have been where like there was an old chimney. Just showing you around a little bit. A lot of rocky area up through here, but pretty awesome. So I see rock structures like this all the time, and I don't know if that's where the Quilliam family would have moved those, or back in the day when they were basically building all the roads and things for the national park, if they'd, you know, just piled those up to clear them off. That's not the first pile of stones I've seen like that, but always been curious. Could be a landmark too, to help maneuver around, because you can get lost in this area pretty quickly and easily. All right, so here's another neat little area. Try to get a closer view of it here. Now this, I believe, is the actual little cave that they would have used to maybe hide moonshine. And that's just what I read, okay? So, but it is a little cave. You can tell there's been some rocks piled up here, so they could have easily put something back there, walled it off, and would have made it very, very difficult to find anything. But there's the trail that we've come up so far. So just a large rocky wooded area. And here's just a little bit better view of the cave. Hopefully you can see that. And there is some running water in the background. All right, so let's just continue on up the trail here. We still got a lot more to see. This is pretty much an uphill climb the entire way, so this is not one of the easier trails for sure. All right, if you don't go any further on this trail, at least make it to this point right here. I'm going to show you the view here in just a second. But I want to show you what that rock face looked like. Look at that view. Let me see if I can pan down just a second. Kind of show you what this looks like. Be very careful here. I'm not going to go too much farther. Look at the view. The mountains. Sunrise coming up over the mountains in the background. And you can hear the airplane also, which means that you're still near civilization. But yeah, this right here is an awesome view. So definitely take advantage of this. Well, let's continue on. We still got a lot more to see. All right, and just up from the first overlook, there's a second one here. Just got to be really careful because it's pretty steep. But look at that view. There's the first one that we were on, right down here. Yeah, that is a gorgeous view. All right, when you get to this point, the trail actually goes on up through there, but looks like there's been some activity down through here, and I cannot remember what's down here, so let's go check it out. All right, so we'll go down there a little bit farther, but before I do, here's another stone wall, and then you can see that there's some stones stacked up here, so definitely would have been some activity here as well. Let's go down here a little bit farther, and this actually might have been where the homestead was. All right, so at the bottom here, this is known as Road Turn Branch Falls. Let me see if I can pan up here a little bit. Well, let's try the other up. So, not a ton of activity, but still a kind of an awesome sight. And then, show you this. Whoop, gotta go back down again. Oh, that is ice. So, I forgot to mention that. That's why I was kind of layered up today. Oh, here's some icicles over here too. Let's go here. The icicles. But it was 31 degrees when I left the house this morning. It's probably in the upper 20s, but I'm sweating right now just for climbing up straight uphill. So anyway, there you go. Road Turn Branch Falls. All right, so we're making our way back up the hill, and this is where we broke off. That was the main trail coming up. That's where we went down to the little waterfall, and here is the trail to continue on. And here's another pile of stones. So there was definitely some activity up here back in the day. And you can see the sun now coming up over the mountains. Pretty awesome view. But let's continue on. We still got two of the best sights still to see. All right, so it's not much of a landmark, but when you get to this fallen tree, you're gonna see a path right beside it to your right. And this is gonna take us to Courthouse Rock. All right, so you can see it off in the distance there. That is Courthouse Rock, and we're gonna get a little closer here in just a second. All right, so I'm gonna try to give you an idea of how big this rock is here. Hang on, let me see if I can pan up slowly. I don't even know if you can see that. Doesn't look that big here on the video, but this is a massive rock structure. So let's climb up here and get a little better view. All right, so here we go. Here's this first level. See off down below. Pan up here so you can see that. Walk around here to the edge. Here's the other side of it. Let me see if I can pan up a little bit farther. So it is apparently flat on top. I have always wanted to climb up there, but with me being by myself, probably not the best idea. And I don't know the best way to even get up there. But anyway, it's a pretty cool structure. All right, so there is no way I'm gonna try climbing up to the top of this, because I don't think I could if I wanted to. But this is still a pretty awesome rock formation. Just kind of give you an idea where we're here off the ground. I'll go back around here to this side, scan up to the top, and a view here with the mountains off in the background. So the cool thing about this particular spot is that apparently it is the only freestanding rock formation in the entire Smoky Mountains. So, and it is also believed that this is the place where the Cherokee Indians used to carry out like their own court or tribunal, I guess. So a lot of history, and I wish I could go up to the top to show you, but I am just not able to. And with me being out here by myself, if I was to fall, I'd be in real trouble. So there's probably not going to be another hiker up here today. And if there is, it's probably several hours. So anyway, sorry for that disappointment, but let's continue on because there's still another awesome site I need to show you. All right, so there is a secondary rock formation here that, let's see, on the wrong direction here, but a little more difficult to get to, but it is an awesome spot here. Not sure if you can see that or not, but we'll go down through there in just a second. But I need to get over here to the other side so you can get a view of that as well. And the only way to do it, well, there's two ways. You can go around, which would probably be the smart way to do it versus me trying to go across this giant crevice and fall, which would make good video, but you may never see it because I may be stranded up here. But anyway, that's another cool spot. I was too lazy to walk around. Don't tell my wife I did that. There's another good view of Courthouse Rock. Pretty scenic up here. And there you can see where it's flat, but there'd be no way for me to get up there to that, and I am not gonna try it. All right, one last scene here before we leave this area. If I can get down through here, which is kind of cramped. And there you go. So, can I get out from here? Of course I can. But there's a view of what that looks like. And that was the rock that I was on top of a minute ago. So, anyway, pretty cool little spot here. But we've not even got to the finale, so let's get going. Alright, so we're coming back out to the main trail again. And bear to the right. Alright, look at this mess we got to get through. Oh man, it's this stuff right here that just wears you out. Oh. And it makes it difficult with a backpack on for sure. So normally I could just go under this, which I'm gonna try. But man, the backpack, I could take it off, but it's just a pain. Oh. Let's see if I can get through this. Ooh. Tight squeeze. But I made it. Man, this trail gets really hard to find at this point. I mean, you can tell where there have been some people up here recently, but there's just not a lot to follow. So make sure you're paying attention, because you can get off trail very, very quickly. All right, so you cross a little creek, then here's another pile of stones, and then this is the hardest part of the trail. I remember this to the point where it almost makes me sad. It's almost straight up from here now. This is the worst part. If you've ever hiked chimney tops, where you're going up all the steps, this is what it reminds me of. It's brutal, but we are very, very close to getting there, so let's keep pushing forward. All right, so we are within sight of it, but I just want to let you know there are fallen trees everywhere that you have to navigate either over or under, but there's a bunch of them. But we are right here. We're so close. Hang on. Well, the other problem is, I about got off the trail. I was about to go up a long way, and then I saw this, which seems to be the easier of the two paths. So we'll try it. I mean, there is no easy way to get up here. I do not remember it being this difficult, but it sure is. All right, so we made it. We got just a tad farther to go, but let's see. I'll show you all the icicles up here right now because it's so cold. But we need to make our way right over there. So we're gonna have to circle back around because I don't want to get underneath this. I'm already hearing some of the icicles starting to fall. And I definitely don't want to get stabbed to death. So give me just a second. We'll work our way over there to the actual cave part. All right, here's another view of the rock wall with the icicles. There's been quite a few falling, so I'm having to go around. Don't want to get too close here. I mean, there is no easy way to get here. I mean, it's just rocks and fallen trees. I mean, as far as the eye can see. And the problem is, they're covered with leaves, and you don't know if you've got firm footing or not until you step on it. Oh. And at some point, I'm gonna have to walk under these icicles, and they've been falling the entire time I've been going up through here. So let's try to find a spot where there's not any. All right, here we are to Quilliam Cave. And I'm doing my best to walk across all these rocks. Now, I don't know if I would consider it a cave, but I mean, it's a pretty awesome spot nonetheless. The one thing though that I realized the last time I was here is, if you'll notice, there's a lot of big flat rocks here. And you're like, all right, what's so special about that? Well, they had to come from somewhere, and yeah, they fell from up here. So, yeah, that could potentially fall at some point. I really hope not. But anyway, we're going to explore around here just a second. I'm going to put my backpack down so I can maneuver a little easier. All right, so I did want to show you. This goes back a little ways here. Oh. So, I've had received feedback about bringing my flashlight, which I have it, I just don't use it a lot. So I don't know how well it's gonna help us here, but, ooh, and either that's loose or my batteries are going dead. Either one is not good, but like some pretty cool crevices. And then it goes back through here. Yeah, I'm not sure if you can see any of that or not. Probably not. Let me switch over to a different setting here and see if that helps us. Hang on just a second. All right, let's try that and see if that helps at all. Probably not. But, and not that there's anything back here to see, but it's a pretty cool structure nonetheless. But can you see why I prefer to come up here and hike it in the wintertime? I mean, lots of rocks and just lots of places for snakes to hide out. And we do have copperheads and timber rattlers in the Smokies, so you do have to watch out for those. So this is not a place I really want to venture out when the weather's warmer. And you saw all the trees and rocks I had to climb over. Yeah, I'm not going to do this in the summertime for sure. So definitely wait till winter before you come up here and check this one out. But it is, I mean, a really, really, really awesome spot. All right, so that was Courthouse Rock up to Quilliam Cave. All Trails app says it's 2.8 miles round trip. I'm calling bull on that one right now. The last time I hiked this, I clocked it at 4.85 miles. Right now I'm at 2.45, so that's 4.9. So let's make it 5 miles round trip even, just for simple math. So probably take you 2.5 hours, maybe 3. The terrain here is terrible. So honestly, this might be just one of those trails that you just watch on my YouTube video and you not actually do yourself, guys. This is not one that if you're visiting Pigeon Forge and Gatlinburg and you want to do a fun, friendly trail, I would not recommend this one. But if you are somebody that does like to hike and you definitely like to be out here by yourself and you're not going to see any other hikers, I would highly recommend this trail. It is one of my favorites. It is tough. This last probably 10-15 minutes is just straight uphill over rocks and trees. Pretty difficult, but you know, you get to see that massive view from the rock, you know, first on the trail. You get to see the Courthouse Rock itself, and then when you get up here, I mean, you've got this view that is just absolutely phenomenal. So again, this is one of my favorites. And I did discover it by accident. Last year when my truck broke down, I just happened to pull over to this one side area, and a couple other hikers got out, and I'm like, is there a trail? And they're like, yeah, but it's not listed. You have to go on like All Trails app and look it up. And I did, came back a couple weeks later, did it, loved it. Hiked it again today and still love it. But it is painful. It's not an easy trail to hike. Definitely wait until wintertime. Do not do this in the summer. It's just a real snaky place, and I don't want you to get bit. So just keep that in mind. But hopefully you enjoyed this video. I know it's longer than normal, but there was a lot to see on this one, and I want to make sure that you saw everything. So hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, please go ahead and hit the like button. I'd also go ahead and ask that you hit the subscribe button. Doesn't cost anything. It'll just give you a notification the next time I publish another video. But until next time, just keep walking.